What really struck me was that there was a strong commitment across all of the people that were part of the dialogue, that this was an important issue that we need to address and really think about ways to best support older adults in their communities, and think about integrated ways to do that, where we're thinking about not just what's the role of the healthcare system, but thinking about all of the other community partners in social care and community-based organizations that can support older adults. So I think that was a key takeaway, was that sort of collective commitment to the importance of the issue. And then I think the other takeaway was really thinking about the importance of an aging strategy, that we really don't have an aging strategy in Ontario, and the importance of thinking through what that looks like and how to support people through the continuum from health promotion and chronic disease prevention to when people need more care and supportive care, right through to palliative care were part of the discussions. But really the focus for this discussion was thinking at that earlier end of trying to keep people well and support them with their own self-management through age-friendly communities and inclusive communities with supports to meet them where they are on their journey. Another key takeaway was around the role that the province can play in leading these kinds of initiatives, and the importance of policy and accountability, so that there is support to follow through on this, that integrated care isn't seen as a nice to do, but it actually becomes part of the mandate for people to think about ways to integrate these kind of wraparound supports for people. And wraparound may look different depending on where people are with their aging and their health-related needs. And I think as well, it was really helpful to identify the roles that different groups could play in this integrated care picture, from thinking about existing initiatives and leveraging the Primary Care Act, and thinking about the goal of attaching all Ontarians, and how that could be a real way to reach some of these socially isolated older adults, and to identify who might benefit from greater connection to the supports in the community, and who may have unmet needs out there, and thinking, about the OHTs, but also thinking about the primary care networks and what role they can play. Another important aspect was thinking about older adults themselves and how they should really be partnering in co-designing this aging strategy and ways to support people. And that's particularly important when we think about the diverse needs of older adults in Ontario. I think some of the actions that are important is really having provincial direction and commitment to supporting older adults to live well in their community, and thinking about upstream approaches, trying to think about funding that helps people to stay well, avoid mobility decline, keep from moving into that position of frailty and needing higher needs. Of course, some people will live in that space, and there is a need for care in that area, but thinking about upstream and thinking about the sustainability of the healthcare system. If we can invest upstream, if we can keep people living well for longer within their lifespan. So really extending that health span. So I think some of those actions are investing in integrated care, looking at leveraging things like the Primary Care Act, leveraging the Ontario health teams that have been set up with integrated partners. So thinking about health and social care partners and thinking about all of those community partners, those mechanisms are there. So it's a matter of leveraging those mechanisms. The primary care networks that are being established, that's going to be an important way to reach people as well. I think all of the partners that were part of the dialogue saw there was an important role that they could play, whether it was from a recreation standpoint, whether it was from a non-governmental organization standpoint. I think it was really thinking about collectively leveraging the assets and thinking about the strengths and mandates of those organizations and who might be best positioned. So if we're talking about connecting older adults with some of these community resources, well, maybe that is the role of primary care. If we're talking about that population-based perspective, then that wouldn't be their mandate, maybe. It's thinking about that population health management that has yet to be realized. I think there's the direction to go towards population health management, but this is an opportunity to think about population health management for older adults.